said that it's supposed to be gone by tonight.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Robert Easley, and I serve as the Director of Advancement for the Southern University Ag Center, as well as the College of Agricultural, Human, and Environmental Sciences. We're so glad to be here today. It's a very special day, of course. We are celebrating 83 years of the Southern University's Livestock Show. That's 83 years of rich tradition. Now, those of you who may not know, this is the very last HBCU livestock show that is available here in this nation. So it's very important that we have your support and that you are tuned in today. So we have some very special guests that are going to be joining us live in a very few short moments from the Maurice Edmond Livestock Arena. But before we do that, I just wanted to showcase some of the dedication going on right here from this staff. A&R, the Ag Center's extension team. These individuals are here in the call bank in the Valdry Center for Philanthropy. Now, the purpose of this facility is to do exactly what we are facilitating today, philanthropic moves, and we definitely want to continue to support the many individuals that are here in the Ag Center as well as throughout the state. Now, what you're going to be doing today is hopefully contributing to this cause. What this will go towards is two pivotal programs, such as our Stockman Success Grant. The Stockman Success Grant is responsible for awarding grand champions and hopefully this year, the reserve champions cash prizes. What we've done in addition to that was we created the Pathway Scholarship Program. Pathway Scholarship has been so important, and you're going to see two of those students today. What it does is it takes those students that have been participating in the show for at least 2 years, and it gives them the opportunity to attend Southern University and declare a major in animal science or pre-veterinary medicine. We, of course, make sure that they're equipped with the proper scholarship dollars, as well as the wraparound support that's offered in the College of Ag. But again, we want to thank you for joining us today for this live stream. We definitely want to encourage you to give by using the links that you're seeing floating on social media, your emails, as well as in the comments. But that said, we're going to go ahead and kick it over to the Maurice Edmond Livestock Arena for the very first time, guys, for the very first time. So with that being said, I will now kick it off to Miss Sydney Marshall and Miss Caitlin Johnson.
Good afternoon, Jags and Ag. My name is Caitlin Johnson, and I'm a junior pre-veterinary medicine major from Clinton, Louisiana, and I am also a former livestock exhibitor and pathway scholar.
And my name is Sydney Marshall, a pre-veterinary medicine major from Zachary, Louisiana, and I'm also a former livestock exhibitor and a pathway scholarship.
Today, we are joined by some very close friends and family of the Livestock Show to speak with you a little about their experiences with the Ag Center and the Livestock Show.
At this time, we will have all panelists introduce themselves, their grad year if necessary, and when they were involved in the livestock show.
Good evening. I grew up in Greensboro, Louisiana. My name is Mitty Muse. I was dealing with livestock at Southern from 1972 to 1976 when I graduated from high school. I went to Southern, majored in ag, then I went off and went to work, and now I'm back in Louisiana working on Muse 3 Farm. Good afternoon, Alan Muse. I started showing cows when I was in elementary school in St. Helena Parish. I showed till I graduated from high school, then I entered Southern University. I started majoring in political science. I went off, joined the military. I got out of the military, went to work for a Fortune 500 company, and I came back home. We started a farm. My dream was to come back and give back. My goal was if I could just save one kid, my life is worth living, So that's my goal, working with the kids at 4-H and showing cows over here at Southern University.
Yeah, I'm Russell Honore. I started showing at the Southern Livestock Show in 1962, showed through 66 when I came to Southern as a student. and studied agriculture and worked the show the entire time I was in college and graduated in 1971. Then I went in the Army for 37 years, 3 months and 3 days, and moved back to Louisiana in 2010, and since have participated whenever possible in the coming to the Southern University Livestock Show, and I'm committing myself to buy 2 pigs this year during the auction. So this show was very important to my upbringing and work ethic, and I'm happy to support it again this year. I'm asking everybody, please support the Southern University Livestock Show.
Good afternoon. My name is Brendale Muse. I'm also part of Muse Street Farm. I showed animals back in the 70s, from the early 70s to 1976 when I graduated high school, started Southern University. I graduated from Southern University in 1981 in plant and soil science. Went on to work for USDA NRCS as a soil scientist for 37 years, retired there, came back to Southern and worked as an extension agent for another 6-7 years. And now I work for the Federation of Southern Cooperatives. Our mission is to help farmers maintain their farmland. Don't lose the land. Land retention is our mission. So I'm here. We're going to supply 4 commercial heifers for kids to show. We don't have any family members that's eligible to show right now, but we are still doing supplying animals for kids to show. So we're supplying 4 commercial heifers this year, and we have some kids from the community show them for the farm.
Hello, everyone. I'm Zanetta Augustine. I am the program leader for Ag and Natural Resources. Graduated in 1988 in farm ag econ. Sorry, ag econ. Also, I've been around here for the last 30 years and been a part of the show at least 15 years, working with trying to continue the legacy of the Livestock Show. And I am just elated to be here for the 83rd. And we're asking everyone to give back to the Livestock Show to at least help it to continue to go on.
Thank you. So, General Honorary, thank you for joining us again for Livestock Give Day. You once participated in this livestock program as a young person. What does it mean to see this legacy still going strong and be the last of its kind?
Well, it's significant because all these animals end up in the food chain. And we can't eat silicone chips and AI. And it's important to raise that next generation of people who appreciate where food come from and how to prepare it and how to raise it. As we go from 7 to 10 billion people in the world, and we're going to have to raise 30% more food by 2050, this is important that the next generation is ready to continue the legacy of farming and livestock management and poultry management. And this show creates that next generation of people that will secure our food chain. And it's important for the students now because it gives them a chance to develop themselves as leaders. Because to handle a 900-pound heifer or steer takes a lot of patience and a lot of resilience. And you'll learn a lot from that animal if you work with them. And the more you work with them, the more you'll be able to handle them. You can't show up the week before the show and bring it out in the ring. You can tell the kids who've spent the time and dedication to make this happen and to give them a sense of mission accomplishment of taking care of something other than themselves. It builds responsibility because that animal has to eat every day, has to be taken care of, have to be trained so you can bring it into the show. It shows an extra commitment to the students that show that when they show up here, they put as much time as the animals as those who are practicing to be athletes. So it takes a lot of time. Showing up at the show is the graduation of you and that animal after taking months to prepare it. So it shows dedication, and it's an indication that this student is going to do well, whatever they do, because they've shown a commitment and the responsibility to take care of animal. And that's what it taught me. And I'm hoping to see that carried on to my grandchildren, that they have a chance to participate in 4-H and have an animal for show. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that great response, General Honoré. We're also joined by the brothers of Muse 3 Farms, proud partners of the Southern University Livestock Show. Thank you all for being here today. Mr. Allen, tell us about Muse 3 Farms and your family's connection to agriculture.
Muse 3 Farm is they think they're just a three brothers, but that was my father's dream. My grandfather had three sons. And each one of them, my grandfather was M, one of them was M2, one was M1, M2, and my daddy was M3. My daddy was the baby boy of the Muses, and he always loved land. He always loved cows and animals. But I always tell folks, my daddy was afraid of debt. He wouldn't go in debt to buy anything, invest in anything. So once we guys grew up, we said we were going to carry on his dream for him. So that's how we came up with Muse 3 Farm. We started off about 20 acres of land. We bought cows and put on that. Then we went on. We bought extra land. Right now we own 250 acres. We raise timber, and we raise cows, we raise goats, we raise lambs, we raise chickens. Whatever we need to feed the public, that's what we're trying to do. My biggest gift about the farm is to get young folks out there and teach them. Hard work pay off. This didn't happen for me overnight. It took me 50 years to get this, but I didn't give up on that dream. I said before I leave this earth, I was going to go back and try it. And I said, this was my daddy's dream. And I'd like to see him. I don't know if he's looking down on us or not, but I'm not saying we're going to make his dream come true. So that's what I do. Now I want to give it to the young folks. When they come out to the farm, I say, you can make it happen. But you have a dream, you got to work on it. Don't give up. Hard works pay off. So that's my goal for every young person come out there. I say, if you learn to work, you can feed yourself. If you depend on another man to feed you, that man can starve you too. So it's up to you. Come out here and work and learn to grow your own food and everything. So that's my goal.
Thank you for that answer. General Honoré, how did your experience in agriculture and at Southern University help shape your leadership and discipline given your successful career in the United States military?
Well, that's a good question because it had a profound impact. Growing up on a farm, and as the Muse brothers say, growing up on we had a subsistence farm, so we grew most of our food. We were poor, but you wouldn't know it because we had a big garden. We raised our own pigs and chickens, and then something came called a freezer, and we could raise a whole batch of chickens and save them, and do the same thing with slaughtering pigs and cows. So that made a big improvement in our life. But what it taught us, again, too, is that the appreciation of how to fix things. If a tire went out, we learned how to fix it because we knew how to handle the tools, because there's no such thing as going to buy a new one. And I took that into the Army, where all I had to do was fill out a piece of paper and a new part would come. But I took that to my soldiers, that sometime we're going to be in places where the supply chain not working. You need to learn how to fix this yourself. And when you grow up poor, you learn to adapt and overcome. We were so poor when I grew up, we had two black and white TVs. One had sound and one had TV. One had screen. You learn to adapt and overcome. And that's a key principle when you operate in the Army overseas, in other people's country, in isolated areas. That ability that I learned on the farm to adapt and overcome lived with me throughout my 37 years in the Army. The other thing you learn on the farm is you can ask God for anything, but you can't give them more time. You got to make the best use of time, and it's easier to do something in daylight than to do it in the dark. And they don't teach that at the military colleges, that you respect daylight and you get as much as you can done, because they can give you anything you want, but they can't give you more time. You have an appreciation for time and space, and how can you manage multiple tasks by making sure everybody's doing their job. You learn that on the farm because everybody had a job to do, and teamwork. And all of that came from my 4-H experience and raised on a farm.
Oh,
Yeah. I want to introduce the next generation of Muse Street Farm. I'm going to let her introduce herself, Miss Mia English.
Greetings. My name is Mia English. I'm a graduating senior at the Southern University Agriculture and Mechanical College, and my major is animal science.
Thanks.
Mr. Burnell, as a retired Southern University Extension agent, how has Southern University helped shape your commitment to youth and farming?
Yes, very important because I use a lot of the techniques I learned as an agent. When I came in as an agent, the work was totally different than the work that I was doing with USDA. As an extension agent, I was working directly with the farmers every day. We work with farmers that look just like us. So there was a lot of things that they were doing that they could have done a little more economically, put a little more into it to make things work. One was soil health. So that's one of the big things we preach on our farm is soil health. If you have healthy soil, you can have healthy plants. If you have healthy plants, you can have healthy animals, and in return, you can have healthy people. So we start with the soil. Okay. And it's not just that I studied soil for 37 years, but because I studied soil for 37 years with USDA, I know a lot about soils. So soils is the key. So I use that. I also use my connection with the community to get people to buy into some of these things that we are doing. The no till, the minimal till, the cover crops, things like that can add nitrogen to the soil where you don't have to go down to the co-op so often. And nothing wrong with going down to the co-op and buying fertilizer to give you a little extra boost. But if you don't have to go every time, you're saving money. So that's one of the things. The biggest thing I say is the relationship with the people. I find that when you have that relationship with the people and they trust you, so trust is very important. So don't try to sell them anything that I think won't work, or if it's too much for them right now. I try to stay on their pace and just be honest with them. So the honest relationship, I think, is what helped me to contact people more now.
Thank you for that answer, General Honorary again. Why is it important for people to invest in youth agricultural programs like the Southern University Livestock Show?
Well, it's important that the students that we can reach now in the urban environment or in the rural community, we are losing a lot of our population in rural communities, and people have moved to the urban, suburb, and small patches of ground around the urban centers. That's where America has moved. It's important that we have that next generation of people that's going to have the appreciation for agriculture and for our food security as a nation. Uh, when I was in 4-H, 95% of the people in it were rural kids. That's not the case anymore because our rural communities are thin. We don't have as many small farms. People left the farm because of the dynamics of the economy and the growth of the large industrial farms to be able to sustain themselves. And if you were a successful farmer, you sent your kids off to college. Guess where they weren't coming back to? The farm. So Mama and Paw ended up leasing that land off, or in some cases they sold it or when they passed and everybody was in Chicago, Los Angeles, or New Orleans, and they sold the land. And it's important to keep the young people connected to that ancestral land because the ancestors, they fought hard to get that land and to maintain it. So having our, as a people, connected to agriculture, because that's what we did for several hundred years in this nation, is agriculture. If it grew in America, our ancestors grew it. If it got harvested, we harvested. Today, we can do it as landowners and operators. And there are fewer and fewer of our people in agriculture and in the food chain. And it's important that we pass that legacy on to the next generation and encourage people to understand where our food come from and how to produce it. This is good for our national security as a nation, and everybody's got to be involved in food security in this nation. And it's an opportunity to expose the young people to agriculture and food production.
Thank you so much, General Honore. We're asking supporters to give $83 for 83 years, using the link in the caption or in the comments to make your gift today. And it looks like we have a commitment from right here inside of the arena. $1,000 from Muse 3 Farms. Thank you so much for your generosity. Can you tell us what drives you to continue supporting the livestock show, Mr. Mitty?
Well, the Livestock Show is very important because it connects young people to the food source that we have to deal with, how you raise it, how you grow it, how you produce it. It also give them hands-on experience because so many of them nowadays they're playing Nintendo or in home on computer and all that stuff. They don't want to get out there and do it, but you have to actually get them out there and work with it so they have a connection with it. So it's important that way to give back.
We also just got word that interim president McMeans, chairman Tony Clayton, and the nonstop writers have contributed another $1,000 each to the show. What an amazing act of philanthropy. General Honore, what do you see as the future of agriculture and why do we need to keep preparing young people?
Well, we've got about just about 8 billion people in the world. This is a global issue with about 25 million people living as refugees in camps around the world. Don't need to describe to you the significance of that. If you look at off the coast of America, in Haiti, about 11 million people live there, and almost 2 million are at the point of starvation. We've got a food crisis around the world. It's not that we don't have enough food, it's the distribution of that food and where we can grow it. And in Africa, they have been challenged with the impacts of global warming and climate change with droughts, and they're having issues throughout Africa with water supply, extended droughts, and people are having to migrate. And then the tribal disputes that occur, that's how we ended up with issues now in Somalia and in the Sudan, primarily in the Sudan. Those conflicts are displacing people, and many of them that displacement started over droughts and the competition for the water. So it's important that we have the capacity to raise more food than we need in America so that food can be sent around the world as a point of goodwill to people who need food. Because that's a big point of our agriculture distribution. We raise way more soybeans than we could use in America, but it's built for export market. And right now that situation is challenged. But if we're not in the market, other countries will be, like Brazil. And they are filling, in Argentina, are filling the void of American grain on the global stage, but there's still people out there starving that need food. And it's up for our politicians to sort that out. But we've got to keep our farms open, and we got to keep overproducing because too much of the world are having the immediate impact of climate change and global warming, and they can't raise the crops that they normally would raise. And that excess food we produce in America need to be set to people around the world as a function of goodwill and the humanity of others, that everybody have food on the table. And right here in America, we got food security issue. Nobody should be going hungry in America with the amount of food we produce. And then we got to look at policy. We need people to graduate from Southern in law and political science, because they need to shape the policies that understand that we got to protect our water. Right now, we use more water in America on lawns and golf courses than we do to grow corn and agriculture. And we got to do a cultural shift and protect our available drinking water. We set on some of it right here at this center called the Southern Hill Aquifer. We got to protect that aquifer for human use and agriculture. At the same time, industry can use water, but they need to use it out of the Mississippi River. That's a roundabout way to tell you we've got to be engaged in policy as well as production.
Mr. Allen, why is it important for farms like yours to invest in programs like the Southern University Livestock Show?
It's very important for me, farms like ours, to invest in Southern Livestock Show. Like I say, it's all about the young generation coming up behind me. We got to teach them. We got to teach them the value of raising food. We got to teach them the value of raising animals and everything. You know, you get a kid working around animals, 99% of the time, that kid gonna try to be a good kid. Got a kid get working around an animal to know how to handle human beings and things. So that's very important. And getting back to the water, General, I mean, when I was coming, not getting off the subject, I would like to talk about this water situation again. When I was a young man coming up, they used to have a river called 12 Mile, Tick Fork, and running through there. We go in the woods, we can drink out of that stream. The water was pure and crystal. We can drink water out of it. We didn't have to carry a canteen in the woods with a good water. I came back home 50 years later. It brought tears to my eyes to look at those streams, how pollute the water is. God gave us this earth. It's up to us to take care of it. And I got to tell the young folks, you know, it's taking care of the earth. If you drop something on the ground, pick it up. Put it in the trash can. This is our earth. We're not going to get no more. It's up to us to take care of it. That's what I try to tell the kids. And when they come out to my farm, is you drop it, pick it up. You know, and people like to come to a clean place. That's what I try to tell the kids. Look at our farm. I get up every morning, I look at it. I look at the grass. It's something I tell my wife, that don't supposed to be there. I need to cut it. That's a weed. That weed don't need to be there. My fence row. Those browse don't need to be growing in my fence row. I need to keep it clean. When folks come out, I want them to see that. That's being a good steward of what God gave me. I got to show God I appreciate it. I got generation coming behind me. I got grandkids. I got nieces and nephews. That 250-acre farm, you got to realize we worked hard to get it. I like to keep that in the family. You know, everybody come by, they see that dollar, they're ready to sell. But once you sell, your money going to be gone and the land going to be gone too. So that's the first thing I preach to kids when they come out there. A lot of times they didn't teach me that in school. I had to learn that the hard way. You always keep what you have. That's something God ain't making no more land. They print that old dollar 24/7 around the clock, but he ain't making no more land. So you need to hold on to what you have. That's what I tell kids when they come out there. They watch the place, they look at it, they love it. Now I tell them, I say, I didn't get that by easy. I say, I had a dream and I had a belief. You got to have a belief that you can get this in. And as you work with God, things will happen. Just keep faith. You know, I don't believe in too much hope. Hope is a poor man's dream. I believe in faith. If I believe in it, I can get it. Thank you.
Thank you. When you give today, you're investing in students and youth who are working hard in the area around us. Your support helps fund the Livestock Pathway Scholarship and the Stockman Success Grant, opening doors for the next generation of agricultural leaders. We invite you to give $83 for 83 years. Join the herd and help us finish Livestock Give Day strong.
Wait a minute. I can't say that with these brothers. And here Tony Clayton and gave. I'm going to buy 2 pigs and give them back to the university. I bought it here, home, get one here. Nobody would eat it.
Thank you.
July.
Hey Jaggy, did you tell our Jaguar Nation about our sun beef? Some of the most nutritious beef grown on campus. This is how we grow Jags.
Hey Jackie, did you tell the Jaguar Nation about the awesome work that's happening in our human nutrition department? We partner with friends like Go Cairo and Kroger to improve the health outcomes of our community and our friends in athletics. This is how we grow Jags.
Hey Jaggy, have you told the Jaguar Nation about our winemaking program? We have partners like Darjan Jones Wine Company and the McBride Sisters working with us on research and curriculum opportunities. This is how we grow Jags.
Show is Friday, 10 o'clock, Saturday morning.
It's a sale? Yeah, yeah. Good morning, Louisiana. Hello, America. I'm Lieutenant General Russell Honoré, United States Army, retired, 1971 graduate of Southern University here up on the bluff. We're getting ready for the Southern University 83rd Livestock Show. Come on out this Saturday, see the animals between Thursday and Saturday. And on Saturday, come out to the sale, 10:30 Saturday morning. We'll be selling these market animals. You can either take them home or you can have them butchered and processed, and you can take them to your house, pick them up at the slaughterhouse. Come out, support the 83rd Southern University Livestock Show. Get a great animal. Support the young people of Louisiana who brought these animals here. It's good for Louisiana, it's good for America, and it's great for Southern University. Support the 83rd Southern University Livestock Show. Come out and support the sale, or you can get with friends and donate to the show and buy some of the animals that are presented this Saturday. Thank you, America. Thanks, Louisiana. Support the Southern University 83rd Livestock Show. Thank you.